Hello, I'm Neil Nunes with the BBC News. The World Health Organization says it's seeking further clarity from China about recent changes to how cases of the coronavirus are being confirmed. The number of cases recorded in China has soared after Hubei province, at the center of the outbreak, started using a broader definition to diagnose people. Stephen MacDonald is in Beijing.
Officials are saying if you have the symptoms of the coronavirus and a CT scan showing a lung infection, well, that's enough. You don't have to have done the official test, hence the massive jump today. If you look at the jump in deaths, it's also meant, well, hang on, people are saying, how many more people might have died then from this virus? You haven't put in the dead column who maybe didn't go to hospital or didn't get treatment or were receiving treatment, but not necessarily positively identified in this way. So the death toll could actually be much higher than we thought it was.
The Red Cross has called for sanctions relief for North Korea as its workers tried to prevent an outbreak of coronavirus in the country. The aid agency said there was an urgent need for virus testing kits and protective clothing and urged the international community to act. Pyongyang has not reported any cases of the virus. Here's Laura Bicker in Seoul.
Certainly from some reports that are here in South Korean media, it is believed, they say, that defectors and those sources within North Korea have told them that there is coronavirus present within the country. Now, that cannot be confirmed. And certainly the World Health Organization has said that they have no confirmation of cases within North Korea.
Some news just in. Britain's finance minister, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Sajid Javid, has resigned in the middle of a cabinet reshuffle. The BBC's political editor says she has heard that Mr. Javid was offered to stay on as Chancellor on condition he fired all his advisers. He refused. Sudan has signed a deal to compensate the families of 17 American sailors who died when their ship, the USS Cole, was bombed at a port in Yemen 20 years ago. More details in this report now from Mary Harper.
Sudan is desperate to be removed from the US list of state sponsors of terrorism, and this is a key condition. A US court originally ordered Sudan to pay $300 million in compensation, but the amount agreed is understood to be significantly less. The US ruled Sudan was responsible for the attack because the 2 suicide bombers on the dinghy were trained in the country, an allegation denied by Khartoum.
That report from Mary Harper. This is the latest world news from the BBC. Protesters from a number of Greece's Aegean islands are demonstrating in Athens against the government's plans to build a number of new migrant camps. Dozens of people gathered outside the Interior Ministry following other protests on Wednesday on the islands of Lesbos and Chios. The government wants to build camps on 5 islands that lie just off Turkey's western coast. Ireland's left-wing nationalist party Sinn Féin has formally requested talks with Fianna Fáil to discuss forming a new government after last Sunday's general election. Sinn Féin's leader Mary Lou MacDonald has said it would be undemocratic to exclude her party as its share of the popular vote matched that of the other 2 centrist parties, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. Germany is marking the 75th anniversary of the destruction of Dresden by British and American bombers during the Second World War. The massive air raid in 1945 obliterated the historic city centre. Jenny Hill is there.
Tens of thousands of people are expected to pay tribute to the 25,000 victims of the firebombing. At one point later this afternoon, many of those people will form a human chain around the city. It's designed really as a symbol of unity of the people of Dresden and, of course, people who've come from further afield standing together to ensure that peace continues, that war never happens again. But it's also become, over the last few years, a powerful symbol of resistance to the far right.
Another wall is going up for President Trump, this time in India, where the authorities in Ahmedabad are building along the road from the airport into the city. It'll hide from the president's eyes a housing slum on the outskirts of the city. A local contractor said masons had been working around the clock to build a wall half a kilometre long and 2 meters high before Mr. Trump's arrival later this month. BBC World News.